Hello everyone, onlydraven here again. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. Pretty awesome week to talk about, and also crappy week at the same time. Thank you everyone who's been tuning in every week, and everyone who's been liking and subscribing. Had a little jump in subscribers in the past couple weeks, and I definitely appreciate that. Subscribing helps you see my stuff whenever it comes out. I try to post one every week, but I'm hoping here after the holiday season I can start putting out 2 or 3 videos a week. I've got a couple new projects I've started working on, so I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. This week, again, we're just going to cover the basics, kind of covered what I went through. I was actually sick most of this week, so it's the first time I've been sick since I started this process, since I had the surgery, so dealing with that was a little different than I was used to, which helped me, I guess you could say, positively and negatively, so we're going to kind of touch on that. And I also just talk about a new recipe that I found that I'm going to be sharing on the website. So we're going to go ahead and start off by jumping into our weekly review. So this week's weekly review is going to be a short section today. I don't have a whole lot to go over other than, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I was sick this week. I don't know if it was because I was sick or not. When I was sick, I had a little bit less appetite, but I did my very best to still maintain eating as much as I normally do, and especially to drink and stay hydrated, because I know that was even more important when you're feeling down, staying full of liquids and such. But because of, I guess, the sickness, I had an incredibly good week. I actually lost 5 pounds this week, which is much more than I was expecting. That 5 pounds puts me down to 237 total, which means I'm down a total of 194 since December 19th, 2016. So I've got, about 5 weeks left to lose 6 pounds. I hadn't expected to kind of get that little surge and jump ahead that quickly. It's odd to think that I'm that close to losing 200 pounds, which is a huge milestone, and I guess you'd say my next goal. I have tried to keep specific goals in mind as I've been going through this process, and the big one was lose 50 pounds, lose 100 pounds, be under 300, be under 200 was a big one. I'm definitely going for it, but being under 300 was one. Hitting 274, which is the smallest I've been since high school, breaking that was a big one. It was probably the last big goal that I had. But the next one is to lose 200 pounds total, and I'm 6 pounds away from that. After that, the next goal that I've got set up is going to be, really it's a straight shot to getting to 200, under 200, which, God, I was probably 11 years old the last time I was under 200 pounds. Maybe somewhere between 11 and 15. I was a kid when I was that small. And then once I'm under 200, my goal weight in the end of all this is 190 pounds at this point. So knowing that I'm almost losing 200 pounds, I've almost lost 200, is a big thing. It's something I've been looking forward to. And knowing how close I'm getting to being under 200 pounds, like weighing less than 200 pounds total, is big. But it kind of snuck up on me, and I didn't realize that I'm now less than 50 pounds from being at the end goal, like being at the finish line. It's right there. I started at 431, so 6 more pounds, I'm at 231. That's 41 pounds at that point to get to 190. So right now I'm at 47. I'm less than 50 pounds from kind of being, I guess you could say, the end of the losing phase of this whole process. And then after that, it's still all about maintaining and staying in shape and staying healthy. It's going to be a lifelong challenge and struggle, but I'm so close to the finish line already. I had not expected to be this far. I went through all the seminars and the information at the beginning of all of this and got all the information, and they said the average of this and how well everybody does. And just the timeline as I saw it, is I'd hoped to be at the size I'm at now by 2 years after surgery. And at this point, it's 7 months after surgery. I'm almost at the 1 year mark since the pre-op diet, since I started the whole path. So it's a little mind-blowing, a little world-shaking there to know I'm that close. I had to buy a smaller belt this week, this past weekend, because the belt I'd been wearing since before surgery was at the point that when I buckled it up, I had to wrap it all the way around to the middle of my back. It was going through multiple loops, and as I've been dropping in pant sizes, the belt loops have gotten smaller and smaller. It's harder to fit the belt through there two times all the way around. So I eventually had to go get another belt. Drilling holes in it just wasn't an option anymore. So I was able to pick up a 42-inch belt down from the 56-inch belt I had before. I can pretty much put on size 40 pants at this point and stand up. I'm comfortable, but after a prolonged sitting, they're still a little snug. So I'm still wearing 42s, but I'm not far. This is a 2X shirt. I'm at the point now that I'm going to have to retire my 3X shirts because they're just getting too baggy on me, which that sucks a little bit because I have a couple shirts I really like that fall into that category. And I've actually been picking up a few new shirts over the past while. This is an older shirt. This is a shirt I've had for years. But I'm foreseeing the point that I might even be able to squeeze into a 1X maybe by the beginning of the year, which again knocks me off my feet to know I'm that close. This week's diet, I changed a little bit in as much that I purchased more of the protein supplement meals through my doctor's office than I normally do. Sometimes I'll buy like a pack of those and eat them every few days. But this week, I really wanted to try to get my protein up a little bit higher because, as I've mentioned before, sometimes I struggle hitting the goal of 175 grams a day. So I picked up some of the protein dinners. I picked up some of the protein bars, chips. I haven't taken a protein bar to work with me and eating it with my lunch every day. And it's not a drastic increase in the amount of food, but it's definitely a big chunk of extra protein I've been adding. And that as well may have been a good contributing factor to why I had such a successful week this week. Adding in the high protein, low fat meals. And they're crazy affordable. Like I get 7 meals for $13, or so it's like less than $2 a meal. It's like buying a microwavable meal, at like a grocery store and popping it in the microwave, except this is way better. So that's one thing that I changed up a little this week, but other than that, it's been pretty standard. I have a new recipe I'm going to cook tomorrow. It's actually chicken parmesan muffins. So imagine chicken parmesan cooked in muffin tins with the sauce and the cheese on top. I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't cooked a new kind of fancy recipe like that in a while. I'm not sure if I'll do a cooking video on that or not, but I'll definitely put the recipe up on my website. I just in the process actually this morning of putting together a recipes of the month or recipe of the week page. I haven't decided if I'm going to do week or monthly yet. I'm going to start sharing different recipes, bariatric friendly and recipes, not just bariatric, but just healthy recipes in general. So if you're like doing a Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem, something that still may fit in with you, I'm going to do my best to try to make sure I find recipes that calculate the different portions and fats and carbs and such, so you know kind of what you're getting into. And then as I cook them, I'll try to add pictures as well. But I'm definitely going to put that one together tomorrow, so stay tuned to my website. Here, I'm going to throw it up down here. onlydraven.com is my website, and there'll be a new page on there, tab at the top. It's going to be recipes of the week or month. I'll have it decided probably by the time this video comes out. You can go there to start seeing different recipes as well. I may also link to other food blogs and food sources that I find that contain other recipes. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. But overall, the week in review, that pretty much sums it up. 5 pounds down. Less than 50 to go till I'm at my total goal weight, but most importantly, 6 pounds until I'm at 200 pounds lost, which is awesome. So with that, we're going to go ahead and just jump into our final segment. We'll talk a little bit about dealing with sickness or illness while being a bariatric patient. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I got a cold this week. And it wasn't real bad. It's not like pneumonia. I wasn't wiped out or nothing. It was congestion, sore throat for the first few days. I've had a bit of a cough here the last day or so. But overall, just feeling run down, weak, and just meh, I don't get sick very often at all. I have an overactive immune system, which is why I have psoriasis and eczema, because my immune system is too strong, so it attacks me. So it's not often that I get sick. At least historically, now that I'm losing weight, of course, I guess all bets for that right is off. Everything's kind of changing, so that may change as well. But I caught a cold earlier this week, which is kind of out of the blue. And when you've had bariatric surgery, any bariatric surgery, the types of medications and things that you can take are a little more limited, just because of the more damage it can do to you. You have a smaller stomach, and just overall how it'll affect you. So with those limitations, and as I always hold myself to the strictest guidelines of those limitations as I see them or as they're presented to me, I only used Hall's cough drops, sugar-free, which I was advised was okay, and I used Dayquil gel caps, and I used those sparingly. I had headache for a lot of that, but I don't use anything like ibuprofen or Advil or Tylenol. I stay away from all painkillers. So I just dealt with the body ache and such. The Halls were definitely helpful, especially the first few days, so my throat was really sore. But I found that I was less hungry than normal, and as it is, I'm almost never hungry. If I start to feel hungry at all, it's usually right before bed, because that's usually the longest period it's been since I've eaten. I eat about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, go to bed about 9 o'clock at night, so it's about 5 hours in there where I haven't eaten anything. So sometimes I'll feel a little hungry before bed, but throughout the day I really don't get hungry. I eat because I have to. But I didn't even want that this week, so I made a point of still eating the same portion size. So even though I didn't want it, I still ate the amount of food I was supposed to. But I definitely increased the amount of liquids I drank, especially with water, because again, dehydration is a concern for any bariatric patient, especially those who had the BPD DS, as I have. Getting in the amount of liquid a day and staying hydrated is paramount. So I really stuck to that as much as I possibly could, getting non-stop drinking, if you will, of boring stuff, not alcohol or anything. But I'm starting to feel a bit better now. Just a little bit of congestion, the sore throat's gone, the cough is almost gone. But it definitely, I think, contributed to my weight loss this week. I think there were several factors, but I think that was a big part of it. Also, being sick, I did not go to the gym at all this past week. I think that's just rude as shit myself, going to the gym when you're sick and you're sweating and coughing and getting germs all over all the other machines somebody else is going to be using. I'm not trying to spread my crummy feeling to anybody else. So I'll wait till it's out of my system and I'm fully healed before I go back. I don't want to be coughing all over the weights. But I did not get to the gym, so I thought that might hurt me the other direction. But in fact, I lost more. So of course, some of that could have been muscle weight as well, since I didn't work out. Full disclosure there. But overall, it wasn't horrible. If I had been really sick, it might have been a little worse. I might have had to actually go to a doctor or something and get something specialty prescribed that I can handle. But I just tried to muffle my way through it myself this time with just Halls and Dayquil, and I'm pretty through it at this point. So again, for anyone considering bariatric surgery, be aware that when those times come, when you have a cold or a sore throat or a sinus infection and things of that nature, you can't just go and take anything like you used to. You will be limited in the types of medications that you can take. Not always, but, be aware that can happen. If you're someone who is ill a lot, has a lot of colds and sickness, I would definitely ask your bariatric doctor and surgeon before you have the surgery, which ones you can and cannot take. You don't want to go into that and all of a sudden find out something you depend on is gone. So other than that, not much else going on this week. The holiday season is starting to kick in full swing everywhere I go, so I'm already seeing chocolates and Halloween or Christmas candy. I had a grocery bag full of Halloween candy left over in the house, and I just took it away to work and gave it away to everybody. I needed to get it out of the house, but now I'm seeing Christmas treats and candy, and at my work, they're constantly, here's bagels and here's candy and food and donuts. I can't eat any of that, which is never fun to watch everybody else eat food. But I'm not hungry. It's just you get that mental, I wish I could have some. It's not as hard as it used to be, but it's still there. So that's only, I know, going to become a bigger struggle as we get closer to the holiday and there's more and more holiday treats everywhere. The one I'll probably miss the most this year is going to be candy canes. I like candy canes. I never ate many of them, but I used to have 1 or 2 candy canes over the Christmas holiday just because I really like that flavor, I like that peppermint. So not having those will be sad, but there's other peppermint stuff out there you can supplement, so I'll find something. Again, be sure to check out my website for the new recipe of the week or month, whichever way it ends up being. And I may add, like I said, several on there at a time before I remove them. I'll cycle them out. I'm not going to just keep adding tons and tons of them, but I will leave them on there for a period of time. If you have any questions about the recipes or like to see photos from that, reach out to me. There's a link on the first page of my website at the bottom where you can submit an email. It sends it right to me. Happy to respond with any answers. Either if you want to send it anonymously, to me, I can answer it on one of these videos. So thank you everybody for tuning in this week. Again, check out the website. If you haven't, check out my Patreon page. Patreon is how I help fund the website and keep things going and be able to continue making these videos. I've almost got enough set back. Looks like hopefully at the beginning of the year to be able to get a new camera system and a tripod so I can kind of up the level and the quality of the videos that I'm making. So thank you to everybody who's been helping me and participating in my Patreon page. Again, thank you everyone who tunes in and everyone who subscribes, and also for clicking like on my videos. It lets me know you're enjoying them and kind of makes me want to keep doing them. So thank you so very much. I hope you all have yourselves a great week, and we'll see you later.